Paris for this WBC Lightweight Championship of the World. It will be between Baptiste Mendy, the current champion from France, wearing the black trunks. His record coming into this fight, 49 wins, 5 losses and 2 draws, 30 of those wins coming via knockout. And the challenger, the #1 ranked contender, Steve Johnston from Denver, Colorado. The 24-year-old's record a perfect 20 wins, no losses, no draws, 13 of those wins coming via KO as well. Joining me in commentary for this fight, the #3 ranked WBC Super Welterweight, Troy Waters. And Troy, this shapes up as a good fight.
Well, it should be a great fight. I've seen Jean-Baptiste Mendy fight live when I was over in France in 1992. He defended his European title against an English guy by the name of Paul Burke. Very good fighter, good boxer, and also has good power. So, you know, I'm looking for a great fight.
He's much the taller of the two fighters, a rangy fighter with a lot of reach, as you can see the difference once they come to mid-ring here. He'll be working from the outside, and you'd think Johnston trying to get inside.
Well, that's what I would be doing, man. I think that's what he has to do. He certainly can't fight Mendy from the outside. He has to get in close and work under that reach.
We are away in round 1, the first of 12 rounds to decide this WBC Lightweight Championship. Johnston in the blue trunks with the white piping, Mendy in the all black. Capacity crowd here at Carpenter Hall. Cheering on the local, of course. Mendy backed into the corner. Johnston just sizing him up.
Both boys at the moment just looking for opening, not doing too much work. The first round's usually fairly quiet, but I'm sure the fight will liven up as it goes on. Come 2 or 3 rounds, I'm sure the boys will start working a lot harder.
Punch over the top there from Mendy, just finding the side of Johnston's head. Johnston just flicking out that right jab.
As we can see, as we said earlier, Johnston's walking up. He's got to come forward. Mendy doing the boxing, using that reach advantage that he's got.
Just over halfway through the first round. Another boxer landing a blow of any significance at this stage. Johnston working the body. Left across the top, just missed. Good jab, though, from Mendy that time, finding Johnston's head. Very even and quiet start to this fight. Johnston on the front foot here, pushing Mendy back into the ropes. He spins and gets out of the way.
Both boxers are southpaws, and that's going to make it fairly awkward for these guys. I mean, being southpaws themselves, there's not a great deal of southpaws, and you know, it's very rare that you do actually see 2 southpaws fighting. So being a world title fight makes it even more strange. So it's probably going to take a few rounds for these guys to work each other out.
Johnston landed a couple of blows towards the end of that round, and if anybody had the better of it, maybe he did.
Yeah, there's a nice jab by Johnston. It was a close round, and there's Mendy catching Johnston with a nice jab. So either way, I mean, it was a very, very close round. Hard to call.
So out they come for round 2. Johnston likes to get busy in his fights, but wasn't the case in the first. Just to feel things out. Mendy with that big reach advantage, trying to stay away from him, just flicking that jab out.
Yeah, Mendy's got to keep Johnston at the end of that jab. Johnston's trying to get in close and trying to work that body, bring those gloves down of Baptiste Mendy.
Johnston again going downstairs, trying to find a way through the Mendy defence.
Johnston digs to the body quite nicely. I think, you know, that could wear his opponent down later on in the fight.
Gentleman to go downstairs and unloaded with a couple of rips in that last exchange. Good left, though, straight through the defence of Johnston there from Mendy. Johnston again going down below. Mendy content at the moment is to flick out that jab. Again.
Mendy certainly wants to stay on the outside of Johnston. To me, early on in the fight, certainly seems like he punches a little bit harder. Johnston's digging those punches to the body nice, and there's a nice one too.
Left across the top. That's scored.
Mendy content just to stick out that jab at this stage, just trying to find his range, trying to keep Johnston off from coming in close. There's a nice right hook by Mendy.
Jab again, finding Johnston. Scoring a couple of times there, once with a hook, once with a jab. He's a little bit more aggressive towards the end of round 2 here.
Johnston being a little bit busier here, but not all of his punches are being taken. They're not all clean scoring shots. A lot of them are being taken on Mendy's gloves.
Good round for the champion, you'd think.
Yeah, I'd give that round to Mendy. It was a close round. Johnston was probably throwing more punches, but as we see there, a clean uppercut by Mendy, probably just snuck the round.
They come out for the third. The reigning WBC lightweight champion, Baptiste Mendy, up against Denver's Stevie Johnston. Johnston cuffing him around the back of the head, and there's the warning from the referee. Johnston again trying to go downstairs, and Mendy on the counter.
Yeah, Mendy could have a good 1-2 combination. Johnston ripped a nice right rip into the body then from Mendy. I think if Johnston stays downstairs, he could slow Mendy up.
Mendy just waiting and then flicking out the right hand. And Johnston trying to work the body, and then Mendy gets busy.
Yeah, I'm sure that's Johnston's game plan. He's going to stay downstairs and try and slow Mendy down.
Again, a right rip to the body.
And that's a good fight plan.
Allez, repars sur tes jambes. Allez, repars. Allez, repars.
Good combination from Johnston there, forcing Mendy back in the ropes. Low blow maybe there, not detected by the referee.
Yeah, Mendy's going to keep himself off those ropes. He's got pinned on the ropes there, and Johnston landed with 5 or 6 good punches.
Certainly is making the running here in round 3 is Johnston.
Here in this third round, Mendy just not doing enough to keep Johnston off him at the moment. He's got to throw a few more right-hand leads.
Certainly Johnston who's initiating most of the contact here. again trying to find a way through with the uppercut. Comes across the top with a good left.
A good two-punch combination to the head, then followed up by a right rip to the body. Johnston's certainly winning this round.
Inside 30 seconds left in round 3. Ooh, wild looping right hook from Mendy, missed by a mile, and Johnston immediately went back again to the body.
15 secondes, allez, touche-le au moins 2 fois, merde. Voilà.
Left on the counter there from Mendy. And again. Coming back late in the round, but you would think that one belonged to Johnston.
Yeah, I've got to give that round to Johnston, only just, but definitely a 10-9 round to Johnston. Mendy certainly came back late on in the round, caught Johnston with some good punches, but still for my money, Johnston the round.
You gotta stay downstairs. Stay that body. Stay that body. Okay, now when you get in there, you throw a couple punches, come back out. Don't stand up and admire your work. Come back out. Come back out the way we talked about in the gym. Bend your knees and come back out.
He's not a great puncher, but he tried to surprise you with something.
Okay, we don't
Don't let him surprise you. We don't need another round. He was hurt in the other round. He don't get in this round, he got in the next round. As long as you keep beating him, okay?
Stay cool. Stay cool. Keep it composed. Keep it composed. You're doing fine. Where that mouthpiece? Get that mouthpiece. Give me that mouthpiece.
Okay, baby?
Right.
We know what we're doing, right? Okay.
You're doing fine. You the man. You the man. You the man.
Don't let him do nothing.
Try the instructions from Johnston's corner. Don't hit those combinations away and then admire your work. Get in, make the contact, and then get back out.
Well, that's right. You've got to get in and get out. Do your work. Be like Little Ferro. Get in there and get back out. Don't wait for your prey to strike back.
Straight left from Mendy to open up round 4.
I've said it before, boxing, it's like a chess game. You've really got to outsmart your opponent. And these two guys, you know, they're world-class fighters. Obviously, one's the world champion, and that's exactly what they're trying to do to each other at the moment, outsmart each other.
Straight right again, that jab finding Johnston's head from Mendy.
At the moment, Johnston's just staying in Mendy's his distance, his range. He's got to get inside. He's staying at Mendy's range at the moment. He's staying on the outside. He's got to get in close and work underneath.
Where Johnston's been able to make some good contact, backing Mendy up against the ropes, and he tries to do it again. A couple of punches got through then, but Mendy forces him back away.
Yeah, Mendy's got to stay off the ropes. Every time Johnston traps Mendy on the ropes, that's when he gets caught with some clean shots. That's where Mendy's got to be, in the middle of the ring and just using that jab.
Big crowd at Carpenter Hall, a little bit quiet at the moment. French world champion really has a fight on his hands here. Scoring blows landed there by either boxer. Inside the last 30 seconds in the 4th round.
Allez, Baba, il reste 20 secondes, allez. Fais 2 bonnes actions et repars. Voilà.
Mendy missing with a big uppercut. Johnston for once on the ropes.
Yeah, at the moment is Mendy coming forward and Johnston backing off.
The left uppercut landing from Mendy as the bell sounded to end round 4. Very even round, quite possibly just the way of the champion.
Yeah, quite possibly. Could have gone either way. Maybe a drawn round, but maybe the champion.
Johnston certainly didn't dominate the last part of that round the way he did in the third, that's for sure. Just a last-minute adjustment of the guard. Out they come for the fifth.
Well, the last half of that round, Johnston started backing off, which was fairly surprising. I mean, all his best work has been done while he's been coming forward, and I think that's what he's got to stick to do. You've got to stay to his fight plan, come forward, bobbing and weaving, and try and get under the guard, under the defence of Baptiste Mendy.
Johnston, 9 years the junior of Baptiste Mendy. Man from Denver, Colorado, turned pro in 1993. Has strung up 20 consecutive victories since then.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think Steve Johnston actually fought across his new opponent, Corey Johnston.
Did that back in March of 95. The knockout victory in the 8th against Johnston. Right hand from Johnston, flicking out, jabbing away.
That's where he wants to keep Mendy. He wants to keep Mendy on those ropes. He wants to stay away from the middle of the ring. He wants to get Mendy on the ropes and work away.
Mendy for once coming downstairs. Looks like there may have been a cut just above the right eye of Steve Johnston. There you see it, in fact, a little bit of blood trickling out from just below the brow there.
It looks like a bad cut too. And maybe have been a head clash.
Look at it again here. Mate, there it was. You're exactly right, Troy Waters. The contact coming is accidental. It's opened up a small cut. Maybe not a not-so-small cut. We'll get a look at it. There it is again. It certainly doesn't look to be a good one.
No, it's certainly a bad cut. That could have, ramifications later on in the fight.
The blood also on Baptiste Mendy. That's only, though, from the eye of Steve Johnston.
Now it's going to be up to the corner of Stevie Johnston to see how good their corner work is in keeping that cut closed.
They'll be working feverishly at the end of this round, trying to stop the flow and then get some Vaseline on it. Mendy, again landing there, sensing he may have Johnston in a little bit of trouble trying to protect that eye. He landed a left.
Well, it's amazing what a little bit of blood does. Just brings that confidence back to you. And, he's fighting like the champion. Johnston's still landing there with a good jab of his own.
"15 seconds left in the 5th round. It's the champion making all the running now, pushing Johnston back in the corner. He swings away, though, and lands a good left to Mendy's head. The end of 5. Another even round, quite possibly once again to Mendy.
Yeah, that was a close round. Could have gone either way. There's that head clash once again.
Mendy came away unscathed. See how Johnston responds here in the 6th round. Approaching the halfway mark in this 12-round bout to decide the WBC Lightweight Championship.
Towards the end of that 5th round, Johnston just, he got on his bike and stayed out of range just so that he could get back to his corner and get that work to cut on, to get the corner to work on that cut. And it looks like they've done a good job. Because at the moment that the flow of blood has been stemmed.
We've seen Johnston through the first 5 rounds, determined to work downstairs at the body of Baptiste Mendy. With that cut playing on his mind, we'll see if the game plan changes at all. Well,
at the moment, Johnston's still staying, on the outside. And I I think that's a mistake, because at the moment Jean-Baptiste Mendy's picking him off.
Mendy, a stinging left hand there.
Allonge sans appuyer, vas-y-le. Travaille en souplesse sur tes jambes, Jean-Baptiste. Repars en dansant, allez.
Inside the last minute and a half of round 6.
Both boxers at the moment just content to work those jabs. Just looking for an opening.
We haven't seen many combinations put together from either fighter to this point. Only that time. Right hand it may have scored.
Maybe that cut's probably just troubling, Johnston a little bit, because he's changed his game plan. He's boxing now instead of coming forward, and as we can see, the blood starts to flow once again.
Certainly does. The right-hand side of his face tainted red at this point. He certainly has gone back into his shell. Looking for an opening.
Referee just warning both boxers just to watch their heads. They almost had another clash of heads there.
That would be the last thing that Steve Johnston would want. Works his way out of the corner. Mendy missing a couple of times with a left and a right. So another even round. Hard to find somebody who was on top in that one.
There's a nice overhand left there by Stevie Johnston. Well, after 6 rounds, I'd have this fight either way. It's a 50-50 bet, probably dead even on my scorecard.
Nothing more than a point in it at best. Two southpaws fighting it out for the WBC Lightweight Championship. Baptiste Mendy in the black trunks from France. The American Steve Johnston in the blue.
And he caught Mendy with a couple of nice good shots there.
Stung Mendy into action.
The first three rounds certainly were Stevie Johnston's, but after that cut, he's gone into his shell a little bit, and Mendy's come back into the fight a little bit. There's 3 jabs from Mendy, all finding their mark. Johnston's got to revert back to his game plan from the first 3 rounds and do that bobbing and weaving, getting close and fight Jean-Baptiste Mendy at close, not at long range as he's doing now.
Combination from Mendy, trying to get Johnston working backwards. All those punches landed. And again, the blood starts to flow from that cut above Steve Johnston's right eye.
Johnston all the time working that jab, overworking that jab. Just trying to pick up points using that one hand, the right hand jab.
Good right hand there from Johnston, found Mendy. Again backed up into the corner.
Johnston fighting well on the back move at the moment.
He's found it awkward against this angular and much taller opponent.
Yeah, fighting tall guys is very awkward. You've got to get in and then you've got to get out so that your taller opponent can't counterpunch you. You've got to be in and be out. Do your work and then get out to a safe distance.
.25 seconds left in round 7. Mendy on the front foot now, trying to load up. Johnston counter-punching a right to the head of Mendy.
Yeah, those punches looked a lot better than they were. A lot of them did miss and were taken on Johnston's gloves.
A furious finish to round 7. This one, at the moment, if that cut above the right eye of Steve Johnston holds tight, this one might go the distance.
Rinse it out. Rinse it out. Rinse it out. You're doing fine. Okay, keep popping that check. If you give him a lot of fence, he don't know what to do.
Breathe in. Put him some water on top of the head, please.
Give me the ball. Oh, wow.
Bien. Oh, total, no. Somewhere. Dry man now. Dry him up. Fast. Dry him up, man.
I didn't understand it. You're fine, Stevie. You're fine. Break this one. I'm give him 2 good punches. 2 good hard punches. Stay down, Stevie. 2 good hard punches to the corner.
Keep working, Stevie, eh? We lost the last round, eh? Come on, what is your heart?
The question of Steve Johnston, where is your heart, the trainer says. Well, he'll determined to show it in these last 5 rounds. They come out for round 8. Mendy, I think, had the better of the last couple of rounds at least, and Johnston. And Vaseline smeared across the right eye. Needs to get a little bit busier, according to his corner.
Well, they've done a good job with the cut in Johnston's corner, but they just want him to get a little bit busy because, as we heard, the trainer in Johnston's corner said, we lost the last round. We've got to get busy. And I think that's because Johnston's backing up. Johnston coming forward was, doing quite well.
Certainly has been a change in the rhythm of this fight. Johnston dominated the middle of the ring early on and had Mendy peeling away from him. It's been the other way around in the last 3 or 4.
Johnston's still scoring with some nice sharp jabs.
Straight left from Mendy. Found Johnston, who tries to work downstairs again.
Nice jab. Upstairs and then downstairs from Johnston. When they do actually get into an exchange of punches, and Johnston seems to be, finishing the exchange, he comes out with 2 or 3 more punches than Mendy.
Johnston just ducking that straight left from Mendy that time. Makes the Frenchman miss with a looping right hook.
Johnston once again digs that right hand into the body. And there's a nice one too once again by Mendy though.
Neither fighter able to dominate here. Blood there on the forehead of John Baptiste Mendy, but that has come from that cut on Steve Johnston's right eye. So the end of round 8. 4 rounds left in this fight. It is for the WBC Lightweight Championship of the World, the current champion, the man in the black trunks, Jean-Baptiste Mendy of France, a 33-year-old.
Mendy gave a little bit of a nod of disapproval at the end of that round. Maybe he doesn't think he's doing as well as he is. Maybe a little bit discouraged that he can't land a clean shot on Johnston.
Quite possibly coming into the fight, he thought he might have been able to dominate a little bit more, but neither fighter has really gained an edge here so far.
moment, Johnston just picking up the points in my book because of that jab. He just, 2, 3, 4 times landing with the jab in that round. And, they're all point scorers. I mean, you don't have to, there again, once again, 3 and 4 jabs. You don't have to hit your guy hard. All you have to do is hit him.
Mendy content to cover up for the time being. Now comes out. Throwing that long right hand out. Tries to work the body of Johnston as they get in close. American maybe getting the better of that last exchange.
Yeah, in that last exchange, Mendy was trying to throw body punches, but it's a little bit too close. He needs to give himself just that little bit of room so he can, get some leverage and power into his shots.
Mendy trying to dig that left into the body of Johnston, who was able to block it. Left across the top from Johnston.
Johnston's certainly picking up the points in this round. He's working that jab very, very nicely. He's landing with most of them. But Mendy comes back with a nice 3-4 punch combination.
The final one, the left, that sent Johnston reeling backwards for a moment. They come together in the red corner again here. The instruction from Johnston's corner, 1-2, and that's what he comes at him with. A left from Mendy and a right counter from Johnston. Inside the last half minute of this 9th round. Johnston downstairs again. Feverishly working the body of Mendy all the way through this fight.
Mendy's throwing big, wide, looping shots that aren't finding their mark. He's just going to stick to his jab and try and work his way in at the moment. Johnston's boxing nicely. Bit of a surprise that Johnston can outbox Mendy from the outside because Mendy's the taller boy with the, the longer reach.
Libère-toi, d'accord? Libère-toi, travaille.
Mendy possibly getting a little bit tired towards the end of that round. Both fighters would be feeling it as they go into round 10. Johnston looked a little bit the stronger. All that work on the body is finally taking its toll on the champion.
Well, that's for sure. Johnston's landed some good shots, good left and right rips to Mendy's body, and I'm sure they're slowing him down. Because in that last round, Mendy himself was trying to land body shots. So, in my book, that's a sure sign that he's feeling the shots that Johnston's putting on him.
Bobbing and weaving and making Mendy miss. The right hand, though, found Johnston. That had him going backwards for a moment there. Uppercut. Mendy tries to sway out of the way. Right hand.
Great exchange of punches from both boxers.
Stadium coming from the corners of both fighters.
At the moment, the French crowd very, very quiet. Maybe they think their man could be in a little bit of trouble.
Now they come to life as Mendy puts Johnston back into the ropes. Left from Mendy there, found Johnston's head. The man from Denver, Colorado, continues to go downstairs.
And continues to land with that jab. Mendy comes back with his own 3-punch combination, though.
Another good jab from Johnston.
I think you may have called it in the last round, Warren, when you said Baptiste, Mendy may be getting a little tired.
Hanging on here. Johnston looking the stronger again in the last part of this 10th round. This local crowd trying to spur their man on.
Johnston sticking with that body attack. He's really trying to wear Mendy down. They don't look like much, but every time you get hit in the body, it just takes that little bit of energy away, weakens you just that little bit more.
Last seconds of the 10th round as the bell sounds. Another good round for Steve Johnston. The cut for the time being, holding fast. And the blood flow seems to have been stemmed.
No, 11 round coming out. It's less than an amateur fight like at one time Scott told you. Let's go, baby. This is the championship round, okay? Don't get careless. When you're inside, bam, 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 and then get out.
Listen to it. You gotta listen to the punch. If you get inside, hit a couple punches. Get out. But get out with your hands up and your body move, baby. Okay? You get it first. En el 11, you're doing fine. En el 11 te viene, right? He's killing that body.
If you think you're tired, he's more tired than you and he's older than you.
Come on, all right? Okay? We work hard. We work hard.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go, Stevie.
Libère-toi, merde. Gagne-les. Allez.
Let's go. Come on, get your legs. Get your legs.
Both fighters come to mid-ring. Start round 11. Of lefts from Mendy to find the mark on Johnston.
Well, I think Mendy's got to come home strong in these last 2 rounds because I've got him a couple of points behind. He needs a big, you know, at least one good big round. Johnston still digging into that body, bobbing and weaving, coming out.
Mendy throwing plenty of punches, but not many of them there landing.
Both boys are a little bit tired at the moment. It's a matter of who wants to win it most now. There's a nice left hand by Baptiste Mendy.
You heard Johnston's corner saying this is the championship round. They believe that if he can win this one, he might have done enough to lock it up.
Well, Mendy scored with a couple of nice punches there. You know, he's fighting hard, but he gets caught with a nice left hand and another left hand.
Couple of big punches from Johnston. Trying to find that left again. Mendy is tied in the last part of the previous couple of rounds. He's been busy here in the first part. We'll see how he hangs on this time.
Yeah, Mendy's trying to force the fight, which, you know, in my books means he thinks he's behind on points.
Johnston jab downstairs.
Nice job by Johnston evading punches there.
The arms of Mendy looking a little bit heavy now.
Corner of Mendy keep banging the side of the apron, trying to spur their man on, and the referee's, you know, telling them to stop. I think he needs as much encouragement as he can get at this point.
Johnston doing a nice job of avoiding Mendy there, getting out of the way. The bell going a little bit early there.
Allez, Baba, dans ma protection. Va le chercher avec ton
12th and final round coming up. That man, Baptiste Mendy, being screamed at by his cornerman. The champion may be in a little bit of trouble here.
Well, certainly by the reaction of Mendy's corner, they certainly think he's in trouble.
24-year-old American, Steve Johnston, looking to keep his unbeaten record intact here. A perfect 20-0 so far. Number 21 would give him the world title.
And if the fight carries along the way on this path, I'm sure that Johnston will win the fight. It's a close fight, but Johnston's winning.
Mendy, furious punches to the head of Johnston. A couple of those landed. Johnston still insists on going downstairs.
At this point in the fight, it's the last round. Mendy's got to let it all hang out. He's just got to go for broke.
The way his cornermen were screaming at him as he came out for the last round, you'd think he'd need a knockout to win here. This fight has been very, very close. Mendy dominated through the middle rounds. Johnston had a couple of good ones early on. It has been the American through 9, 10 and 11.
And Johnston just scored with a couple of nice left hands.
Under a minute and a half remaining. Mendy a right to the head.
Yeah, Mendy's got to throw caution to the wind. He's got to let it all hang out. He's just got to go for broke. He's got to try and put Johnston down.
Big right hook missing from Mendy. A jab on the nose of Johnston. A swinging left hand across the top also misses from Mendy. Johnston finds the mark with a left. And a good jab as well.
Mendy at this stage certainly looking to more fatigue. Johnston's still up on his toes, moving around, just trying to stay out of danger. The French crowd certainly trying to, spur Mendy on. I don't think it's going to be enough, though.
He's found the mark a couple of times in this last round, but there hasn't been much on the punches.
No, at this stage of the fight, I think all of Mendy's punches, just arm punches. He's too wary to really put his body behind the punch. Let's not take anything away from Mendy, though, because Johnston's very tired himself.
He is suffered that head cut back in round 5. Affected him unduly here, especially in the last few rounds. Seconds to go. This WBC Lightweight Championship of the World, there it is. Mendy threw the arms in the air. He thinks he's done enough to win it. It will be in the hands of the judges, though.
Well, for my warrant, I think we've got a new champion.
Stand by for the decision. There it is. Steve Johnston is the new WBC Lightweight Champion, winning a points decision over Baptiste Mendy here at Carpenter Hall in Paris. The lightweight championship fight between France's Julien Lorcy, 24-year-old in the blue and red trunks, fighting against Anolfo Castillo, 25-year-old Mexican, wearing the white trunks. Lorcy coming into this fight, a 34-0 record, 24 knockouts. Castillo also unbeaten. He is 24-0 with 16 KOs. Away in round 1. Both these men fighting for the vacant title.
Castillo, the Mexican, as we can see, is a southpaw, so that's going to make that a little bit more awkward for the French challenger.
In his last fight, Castillo scored a 4th-round knockout against Jorge Ramirez. Strong punches from the Mexican to open up this first round.
Well, Lorcy, the Frenchman, he'll certainly know he's in a tough fight because all Mexican fighters are very, very tough. I fought a couple in my time, and they're hard guys to put down, and they're hard guys to stop, and they'll just fight for the entire 12 rounds.
Lorsey's last fight was in December, and he hits the deck early on. A left hand from Castillo put him on the seat of his pants.
Yeah, perfectly timed 1-2.
Referee checks that he's okay and then calls the fighters to resume. Another good left hand stinging Lorsey from Castillo. Mexican blazing away here in the early round. And again, Lorsey hits the deck for the second time in the first round. The count is to 3. Another good left hand from Castillo found Lorsey missing, and he went down for the second time.
Well, it's just proven my point. Mexicans, they're all tough. They're very hard boys. The Frenchman's got to, you know, he's got to do a little bit of boxing now to survive this round.
What a stunning start to this fight. Again, Castillo that left. Lorsey is really having trouble with the southpaw style.
Well, I thought that first knockdown was maybe just a shock punch, but the second one certainly put doubt to that.
Almost an exact replay of the first knockdown.